Okay, so raise your hand if you've ever had that bad down in the dumps kind of a day. Now raise your hand if you or someone you know is struggling from depression. Well, you're not alone. Nearly 3 million people in the US alone struggle from depression. That's actually 300 million worldwide. Now, did you know 50% of people who commit suicide in their life because of depression? And there's nearly 50,000 cases of suicide every year. That's about 25,000 people who end their life just because of depression. And that number's way too high. Now, like I said, we've all been stressed and just had that bad kind of a day every once in a while. But depression is a really big thing. And you don't necessarily have to see a doctor or some kind of therapist to help with your depression. There are actually 3 simple ways I'd like to talk to you about today to help with depression. And I actually have a personal story with each of these. Now, the first one is something some of you might have heard of before. It's called talk therapy. It's where you get with sometimes a therapist, sometimes just a friend, and talk about your problems or whatever, and it sort of de-stresses you. Well, the first time I did this, I was actually texting my friend, Caitlin, and I was just having a bad day, as you can see from our conversation. I told her about how today was crappy. I'd hit my leg, I got my shirt wet washing dishes, and she responded with something nice, and then a question. So I answered, and then I thanked her for being a good friend. Anyway, so just my story alone shows that you don't have to pay $100 to see a therapist when your friends will have your back and you can talk to them. Now, the second method I'd like to talk to you about is just something simple, being around people. And sure, there are always going to be people that you both hate and like when you go to school or work. But as you're walking down the hall thinking about punching that one person that you hate, you're no longer thinking about being sad or depressed. Sure, anger isn't the best thing to replace depression with, but at least you're no longer thinking about being sad and depressed. In fact, one night when I was done with my schoolwork and my mind was at capacity, I went to bed and I got up the next morning feeling crappy, but I went to school and I just wanted to crawl into a hole. But then a different friend was waiting in the hall for classes to start, and she saw me coming down the hall, and she jumped up and said, "Hi, Abby." And in just that little phrase, I felt so much better, and I wasn't nearly as sad as the night before. And then, as I went through school, being around people, I noticed I got even less sad and depressed. Even though I was around so many people that I hated, and a few of my friends, it really helped me feel just not as sad and not as bad. Alright, and the third thing I'd like to talk to you about is video games. Now raise your hand if you like or if you love to play video games, and like any type of phone game or anything like that. Well, video games can help with depression. In fact, one day when I was home from school, my mom wasn't in the living room, and I decided to set my stuff down and play my Wii. I played for about an hour, and when I got finished, I did feel better. But I also felt lonelier. This is because I was playing with an escapist mindset. When you're playing a video game with an escapist mindset, it means that you just want to escape your problems, not actually solve anything. See, when you have depression, your hippocampus and reward pathways can be understimulated and can even shrink over time. But when you play video games, these two parts of your brain actually light up, and they can really help over time. In fact, that's why video games, or playing video games, is literally the neurological opposite of depression. That's why whenever I played for my Wii for an hour, I didn't really feel much better. Again, because I was playing with escapist mindset, but those didn't really light up as much because of that. Anyway, with those 3 simple things, we can all help get over depression and everything in struggles in life. And we've heard this from counselors and teachers and other adults. But really, when you see somebody just upset or having a bad day in the hall or something, don't ignore them. Just a simple smile or a little compliment can really help try and lower this growing parasite of depression in our lives. Thank you.